den sites. And this is really wonderful. Wium actually spotted a Bateleur eagle in a tree nearby and suggested we come and have a look. And it's paid off, because for those of you who have just joined, we were at the other hyena den site earlier, where they used to be. And this one's coming quite close to say good morning. Hello. Oh, what would you like from us? If you look closely, you'll see it has a few ticks on its eyelashes. And it's quite a common place to find ticks on predators. It's got one on each eye. It must be really annoying. But you don't get a much closer shot than this of hyena, so I hope you're enjoying it. This one's still a youngster, and you can tell it's in good condition. It doesn't have many scars or scratches or notches out of its ears. And it really is fascinating how they can be so habituated with our vehicles and with us, and to allow us into their home like this and be so relaxed with us is a testament to good guiding practice that's been happening for many, many years in this reserve. And it's taught animals to not be scared of us, especially in the vehicles, and allow us some insights into their lives. You'll notice that that individual's got a full belly, so it's been a successful night, and who knows where it would have got its food from. It's one animal that I'd love to be able to talk to, because they cover such great distances and often put themselves in dangerous scenarios with other predators when they may be trying to steal their kills. It's been wonderful to watch these little cubs grow. The one you can see walking away is one of the two smaller cubs. So there's two cubs from the same litter, and then one that's slightly larger and older. But they really do metamorphosize in terms of their appearance in the first few months of their life. They start off as completely black, almost very dark brown balls of fur, and around 3 months of age they begin to develop the spots that you can now see on them. This is another relatively young adult, and you can tell this by the fact that its spots are very defined and dark, and its coat is very pretty. So this you could say is a sub-adult. If it would open its mouth, we would also notice that its teeth are white and still in perfect working order. The mother, who's lying at the base of the den, who we'll show you shortly so that you can compare, does not look anything like the one we're looking at now. You'll notice now how the spots are not nearly as dark and prominent, and the coat is almost thinned, and there's not nearly as much blonde hair on their body. Her Their face and teeth will also tell a story. If we were a little bit closer and if we did see her open her mouth, they'll be more yellow and worn down from crunching through many bones and carcasses. They are highly specialized in feeding on bone matter, and their jaws as well as their digestive system can handle bones that leopards and lions cannot. And that's what makes them so important. Their role in this ecosystem is critical, and without them there would be a massive gap in the nutrient cycle. And I feel it's simply a lot of bad publicity that have got people thinking that a hyena are kind of the villains of the African wilderness. They certainly aren't. And something that's important to understand is that even though they've been painted as the stealing scavengers, lion and leopard and wild dog will all steal from one another, depending on who is the strongest and how many numbers are available. All predators will steal. Male lion will steal from female lion, male leopard from female leopard. And depending on, again, the numbers, wild dog will steal from leopard where they get the chance. They'll even steal from hyena. And research has been done in various areas where lions steal more from hyena than hyena from lion. And again, that just comes down to size and strength, and size and strength is what matters out here. And whoever's the biggest and the strongest get what they want. It's that simple. Now, where have all the other hyena gone? We've still got one lying down next to us here, but the cubs seem to have all disappeared. Hopefully they'll come running back. They quite often come up to the vehicle to say good morning with their inquisitive little natures. Something that we haven't really touched on is the fact that they've moved den sites. Now, it's not uncommon for hyena to move den sites, and they can often have several den sites within their territory. They've been at the other one now for about, I would say, 2 months, possibly not that long, maybe a month and a half, and it's probably full of parasites now, as well as excrement. And now this den site that they've left abandoned would have become clean. All the decomposers would have come and cleaned out the den site. The parasites would have left because there would have been no hosts for them to bother. And now the hyena come back to a fresh home. Now, I've just seen 2 of the cubs arrive back at the base of the burrow, and it looks like they've got a bone that's been brought back to the den site. It looks relatively new, and it looks like quite a big bone. Possibly a femur, but I can't see very much of it, but they are chewing on it. And that would explain why the adults have got full bellies. The cubs will feed on meat and bones from this age, but they do rely on milk for a very long period of time relative to other predators. They can nurse for up to a year and sometimes even longer than that. Oh, that looks like a zebra. No, maybe not. No, that looks like a kudu. I'm battling. I got my binoculars up a little bit late, but I think that could be the remains of a kudu, and that would explain why the bateleur eagle was here. So very well done to Wium for spotting that bateleur eagle. It was a long way off from the road, and bateleur eagles are renowned for eating carrion. They can hunt for themselves, but they do often help us to locate carcasses, and this is no different. Yeah, that is certainly a kudu, and I wonder where they brought this from, because it's unlikely that they would have killed the kudu. It's not to say that they can't, and they didn't, but I'm guessing they may have stolen this from a leopard or lion, as that's predominantly what happens with the hyena in this area of South Africa, or Africa. Because there is a high leopard density, they can afford to focus on stealing from them rather than hunting from themselves. That's not to say that they don't hunt here, but they are less inclined to do it than in other areas of Africa. These two cubs look to be the siblings from the same litter. I'm hoping the larger cub, who's probably a month or so older than them, pops into the scene, and all three of them can start revving one another up and playing around.
Welcome back, everyone.
Wow, look at this. Awesome. Well, the cub's toy has been taken away by one of the sub-adults.
What do you want to look?
Sorry, Andrew, please go again with what's going on there.
Ingwe, a young Ingwe. I touch with.
Okay, copy, thanks. Just to let you know, the Misikai is now back at the old den sites off Rebecca's.
Okay, thanks so much, Scott.
We'll try and move us into position quickly and see if we can't see what's going on. I can hear a bit of whooping and excitement, and those cubs seem to have chased down that sub-adult. Let's see what they're up to. I'm not sure where the cubs have gone, but the individual that's carrying off this kudu's leg is over here. That is greed. Look at your stomach already. It's about to pop. And now it's stolen the young cub's entertainment for the morning. What hyena often do with bones that are too difficult for them to crack into is they put them in puddles of water, which help them to break down over time, and it's almost like a pantry where they can store bones and leftovers for harder times. And it really does make for hilarious viewing. I'm over here on the left. It really does make for hilarious viewing when you do see them swimming and putting their head underwater looking for the remains of kills that they've stashed. The young cubs have come and they're now watching, trying to establish where their toy has gone. Well, I think that's the end of your kudu leg for this morning, sadly, youngsters. Bulleray! good morning, and thanks for sending your question through. Bulare is asking whether this is the same den site where Stefan was sitting just 2 or 3 days ago, and it certainly is. We were right here chatting about this den site when it was still inactive, where they was probably only moved here last night, I'm guessing. None of us checked whether the den site was active yesterday, so it could have been the night before, but it has been very, very recently that they moved here. And they're now sniffing about for something else to chew on, it looks like. It's good practice for them. They're going to be following the scent trail now of where that other hyena dragged the kudu leg. And this is imperative training for them, because this is how they're going to track down their food in the future. Their noses are probably their most powerful sensory organ when it comes to finding kills. And they can smell meat from many miles away, provided that the wind's blowing in the right direction. And this individual here that Wium's heading back to is now on the trail of the missing kudu leg. Okay, we've got a question through from Georgianne in Illinois, and Georgianne's interested to know whether this could possibly be the kudu that quarantine caught on the 6th of May, and it could, Georgianne, but I'm inclined to think that it's not. The reason being is that was about a week ago, and the hyena would have taken that remains back to the other den sites. So it is something I have thoughts of, and I'm not sure, but I'm inclined to think that that leg from that specific kudu a week ago wouldn't really be in the mix now. I think that's from a more fresh kill, but I could well be wrong. It's a good question, though, and it is something I've thought about, but I can't be certain as to what the answer is. What would be nice to know is whether quarantine managed to catch another kudu, which would be quite remarkable, because it's a big prey item to take down for a leopard. And judging by their full bellies, Georgianne, I think they are full of kudu as we speak. The fact that there's not just one but several of them very full bellied, and the fact that there's that leg over here that still has nutritional value. That's why the other hyena took it away from these cubs. It feels like it can still get a little bit of food out of that. Means that is from a fresh kudu. A week ago, these hyena would have consumed and done whatever they would want to have done with that kudu leg by now. Where did you guys find this kudu? Cute. And the cub taking some time to look after its mother, as well as use her leg as a pillow. Travis in Brisbane. Good morning, and I hope you're enjoying the hyena den site this morning. Travis is interested to know if and when hyena do hunt, and in areas where they are more likely to hunt, what is the biggest prey that they can take down? It's a good question, Travis, and a lot will depend on the individual clan and the prey items available to them. But I have seen footage of hyena taking down one of the most formidable prey items that you get in this area, the Cape buffalo. So, clans of hyena in some areas can be 30 to 40 animals strong, and that's a serious force to be reckoned with, and with that many hyena, they can take down even buffalo. In parts of Kenya and Tanzania, where the migration takes place with many wildebeest and zebra, they also specialize in taking down wildebeest and zebra. So those are also big prey items that can be run down by the hyena. The only documented kill that I know of in this area of hyenas making a kill is an impala that they caught in Gari Dam, and that was footage that was captured on the waterhole camera. And for those of you who don't know, we've got a 24-hour live surveillance on the Juma waterhole. So whenever we're not on safari, you can still be keeping an eye on what's going on. And it was on that camera late one night that a hyena chased an impala into the dam. It swam around, the hyena continued to circle the dam, and eventually the impala tried to get out, and the hyena grabbed it, and that was that. They're not the stealthiest of predators, but their endurance allows them to run prey down until the prey becomes fatigued and makes the wrong move, and that's when their bone-crushing jaws come into play. Now, something that's quite interesting is that the oldest of the small cubs was seen at the kill yesterday, and the kill was in the area of a male leopard. Now, it's obviously dangerous for cubs to be heading into these hot zones where they could be coming up against lion or leopard. And the fact that there's been no sign of it this morning is obviously a bit of a concern. That's not to say it's not here or not elsewhere. It could be back at the other den sites, and maybe only half of the hyena have moved in here and the other half are still debating what to do. These strange things do happen in nature, and we are just going to have to monitor it closely, but at this stage we do not know where the oldest of the two cubs is. What we can see here, though, is some fierce competition between the cubs, and they will compete fiercely for nursing. But it appears that the mother is not interested in allowing them to nurse, or it certainly wasn't initially. Although now she seems to be giving in. And the one cub is obviously slightly low down in the hierarchy, because it's just lying there watching its brother or sister drink. Okay, it's coming in, the second one, so let's see what happens here. There may be a bit more fighting and tussling. Or are they all going to relax and... Look at the mother, she's completely... That's hilarious. She was scratching her back there for a second. She was completely lying flat on her back. And she can't seem to make up her mind. Possibly it's the discomfort from her bulging belly that's filled with kudu. that's preventing her from getting comfortable in a nursing position. Probably doesn't help having two cubs jumping on her stomach either. So, some of the viewers are asking whether the kudu leg was the remains from an animal that died of natural causes that we found 2 days ago. And just to clarify to everyone, it wasn't a kudu that died of natural causes. It was the cousin of the kudu, a bushbuck, which is considerably smaller than a kudu, but part of the same spiral-horned antelope family. In this area we have the bushbuck, the inyala, and the kudu. And the bushbuck's legs would have been gobbled up. They're a lot thinner and easier to crunch through for hyenas. But just to let you guys know, it wasn't the same animal that we found that had died of natural causes. Well, I think we've had a great sighting here at the hyena den site, but I'm getting tempted to move on and see what else is out there. There's lots of other characters that we can have a look at out here. And I think we've had some great action seeing the sub-adult take away the kudu leg from the youngsters. And you can hear them now chittering and chattering, trying to get a good spot for nursing, but as soon as they do get comfortable, all we're going to be seeing is sleeping hyena slowly suckling on their mother's milk. So it's not going to be highly entertaining, and I think we should go and have a look and see what else is out there. An update on Brent. He has been trying his best to find these lion, and he's been spending a lot of time on foot. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm going to try and get an update from Brent. He's still following up on them, but I don't know exactly where the tracks are heading towards.